emailed me and asked me to be this year's speaker. I replied with, "Do you have the right page? You really want me?" So thank you for letting me be here and be this year's speaker. It's so great to see everybody here. So I'm going to start off with sharing my brother's story. His name was Alex. He was a son, a grandson, a brother, a nephew, a cousin, and a friend. He wore number 56 on the football field, was a fan of any 80s movie, and could recite any Eminem song ever produced. He was a dreamer and loved others more than he loved himself. Like many, he turned to the dark side of addiction slowly, and it didn't take long for him to be fully engulfed. He had stints of sobriety here and there, with but only 2 weeks of inpatient treatment ever being offered to him as a minor. His long, courageous fight, I've never seen my mother fight or advocate the way she did to get Alex help. It was to no avail. Empty promises upon broken roads with a sick, active using drug addict who couldn't get help. Do you think they see him now? Alex lost his fight on December 22nd, 2016, at the age of 18. I can still remember what I was wearing. I can still remember the bruises on my knees from falling to the ground when they took his lifeless body out of my parents' house in a body bag. I can still remember the screams, and I can still remember the look on my parents' faces. I can still remember the New Glarus Fire Department and paramedics silently crying in the snow-covered driveway, and I can still remember thinking, what have I done? I was now not only an addict myself, but I was now the sister of an addict who lost their fight with a needle still in his arm in my parents' bathroom. I share his story and I speak his name because he is still important. He still matters. You all matter, and your story is important. My nightmare ended and my new life began on August 11th of 2014 in the parking lot of Speedway on Verona Road. Surrounded by cops with their guns drawn and a tourniquet around my arm still, I was forced to put my cooker, my needles, and untie that bright blue tourniquet and surrender. I had hit rock bottom. I was homeless, jobless, lifeless, and now about to be a drug felon. And the only thing ever on my mind was getting my next fix. But this nightmare didn't start overnight. It was a process that quickly consumed my life, and as many, my drug dealer was my doctor. When the pills got too boring and expensive, I turned to what was easier, more accessible, and lethal. The drug we all have come to know and hate, and we call her heroin. Heroin was my life, my soulmate, my one true love, the thing that always made me feel better, but more importantly, the one thing that didn't make me ever have to deal or feel, and that is why I loved it so much. Self-medicating through years of crippling mental health issues and being uninsured to even try and resolve the issues, I continued turning to the drugs, and I would get them at whatever cost, and it didn't matter who I hurt to obtain them. When I was using, I was a lifeless zombie, high at any given moment I could be, just to not face who I had become and bring truth to who I was. Society's biggest scumbag, the heroin addict. The societal views and stigma against this disease kept me sick. The embarrassment, the judgment, the shame, especially growing up in a very small, pretentious town such as New Glarus. But on August 11, 2014, I surrendered and was forced to get help, and my secret was out. So I embraced and hoped, restructured and modeled my entire life around recovery. I spent 4 months inpatient at Hope Haven while going to day treatment for 2 years at ARC Outpatient Services, and was lucky enough to spend another year inpatient at ARC Dayton, and I am one of the lucky ones. The amount of treatment I received is unheard of, completely unheard of. And I thank my higher power every day for the gift of life. It is pain, it is sweat, it is lonely, and it is so hard. But I am here standing in front of you to tell you that it is worth it. There is hope, there is hope, and there is people who understand. There is love, and you are not alone. You aren't forgotten about. My journey in recovery has not been a walk in the park, diamond and roses, a hell no. But it's when I place my hand over my heart and feel it beat. It's when I see a sick addict agree to go to detox. It's when you see someone celebrate 30 days clean. It's when you see the love and acceptance around you when you go to the recovery rally. It's in those moments, and in those moments when I look around and I remember why I stay on this path. Why I help who I can with all I have to get better. Because it takes one person, one of you standing here right now, to guide a sick addict to help and offer them hope, and maybe save a life. I was once told that where there's still a heartbeat, there's hope. And oftentimes in addiction, fear drives us to anger, which in turn helps us push those still sick back in the corner. But I have dedicated the last 4 years of my life to find researching organizations, and even obtaining my peer support specialist training and recovery coach training. I had to embrace and dedicate my life to finding out how to get the hundreds of thousands of people who are suffering from the disease of addiction help. There had to be more. They didn't have to remain silent. They didn't need to be judged. They needed help, all help. The disease of addiction and mental health are different than having a broken arm. Those on the outside can't see the pain, the emptiness, the desperation. However, we can help lead them to the light and back to the bright side to try and rebuild some sort of normalcy. It took one person for me to promise to get me better and help me, and that was my arresting officer, who had his gun drawn to my head and cleaned off the blood on my hand while they were in handcuffs from where I had just injected a gram of heroin, and he did. And 4 years later, I thank him for pulling me out of my own living hell and into a life where I now travel the world, cook, clean, maintain my own apartment, and sprinkle hope on all of those I come in contact with. I'll never forget heroin. I'll never forget withdrawal so bad I couldn't move for days. And what's worse is I'll never forget how that one choice led to me changing for the rest of my life. I still look at my arms and my hands and I'm reminded of track marks. I still cry some days because I crave so hard it debilitates me. But then I remember how far I have come, how hard I have worked, how much I have gotten to see and do. I don't miss Christmas anymore, or birthday parties, and I show up sober. My blessings outweigh the cost of just one more time. And even if some days I have to tell myself tomorrow, you can one more time to get me through, by the next day I forgot I even created the thought in my head in the first place. It has taken years of therapy, AODA treatments, recovery groups, 12-step meetings for me to get where I am today, and the work will never stop. Even on days I don't want to, it is a constant fight and a constant struggle, and it is possible. Don't give up. Don't give up on the family member you are fighting for, the friend who is struggling. Be open, educate, and never judge, instead advocate for the person standing here today without a voice. Advocate for the mother who is so heartbroken she can't leave her bed. Advocate for the 172,000 human beings who died of a drug overdose in the last year. Advocate because your story matters too. Your voice deserves to be heard. And you deserve a bright, new, beautiful life. I know I love my bright, new, beautiful life today that I get to spend with my 7 brothers and sisters, an amazing family, beautiful friends, and being free from the grips of active drug addiction. As Eminem said, if you're trying to get out, just follow me. I'll take you there. Thank you.